Let's get right into quarterback rankings. Tom Brady and the Patriots travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Jacksonville has been unbelievable at creating pressure, but it's worth noting that Tom Brady has led the league in completion percentage when under pressure last season in 2017. So pressure doesn't seem to get to him as much as others. That being said, I've got Tom Brady at number 9 because this defense is that ferocious. Stephania, you are betting on the greatest quarterback of all time. You've got him inside your top 5.
Right, and that was the stat I was just going to give. But that's basically, I like Tom Brady. You guys don't.
Okay.
Fair enough. Understood. It is only because he's Tom Brady and because the confidence I have in Tom Brady, the confidence I have in Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick to look at this defense and say, hey, we're going to scheme something. Having said all that, fewest quarterbacks points allowed last season was the Jaguars. Held the opposing quarterback to 13.5 fantasy points or fewer in 13 of 17 games last year. That was the Jaguars. Brady, when he played a top 10 fantasy defense last year, averaged under 15 fantasy points per game as opposed to almost 20 points a game last year. He has struggled against elite defenses. This is an elite defense. The game is in Jacksonville. I have him at 7, whereas normally any week he would be a top 2 player for me. I don't think any of us are suggesting bench Tom Brady, but we are saying perhaps in daily you're looking elsewhere and certainly lower expectations. The Jags defense is legit.
Alex Smith faces the Indianapolis Colts, who allowed Andy Dalton to complete 75% of his passes in week 1, throw for 2 touchdowns and nearly 250 yards. Stephania, you don't believe that Alex Smith, though, is a starter in 10-team leagues this week.
Yeah, I just, without going through them all, I just like the other options better. You know, it's not so much a negative on Alex Smith as it is for me. I like the other options better. I like the other matchups for quarterbacks better, and I think there's going to be a lot of rushing in this game.
Matthew, I have him inside my top 3 this week at quarterback rankings. You're just behind at 4.
That's right.
I'm not trying to make you happy, Dad.
Yeah, no, I understand, but you are. You're very handsome. You're very smart. You're not a hater. You're a yater. You're not a hater.
Alex Smith, top quarterback rest of the way.
100%. There you go. Love that. Look, the fact of the matter is the Colts defense is brutal. We talked about this last week in terms of why we liked Andy Dalton so much as a streamer. That secondary is among the worst in the NFL. The Colts have allowed 300 passing yards or multiple touchdown passes in 12 of their last 17 games. This game is in Washington. I thought Alex Smith looked very good last week, looked comfortable in the offense, looked efficient. But
a lot of short passes. And so if you're, I just don't think that you're going to get a ton of yardage from him in this game either.
A lot of short passes, but remember the Redskins were top 6 in the NFL in terms of yards after the catch last year, and you think about guys like Josh Dotson or Paul Richardson or Chris Thompson or my beautiful, healthy, without a scratch on him, Jordan Reed. They've got a lot of guys that can catch the ball in a short area and go for a long distance here. Given the rushing floor of Alex Smith, this game is at home, and the Colts will have to throw to keep up with us. I think this is a little bit of a shootout game. Yeah, you and I are on the same page here, Field. Top 4 quarterback for each of us in week 2.
I'm the highest on Russell Wilson amongst us this week. I've got him inside my top 10. Remember, against a pretty good Denver defense last week, after losing Doug Baldwin mid-game, he still put up 20-plus fantasy points and finishes a top 10 quarterback. I get it, it's the Bears, but I'm more optimistic than you are, Stephania.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Bears defense from at least the first half of the last time they played, and I think they're going to make some adjustments. I think it definitely hurts him to be without Doug Baldwin. I don't feel like Russell Wilson. When I've seen him under pressure, I think the Bears are going to adjust. And I think when I've seen him under pressure, he tends to make a lot of mistakes. Yes, he has to scramble with his legs, but if he gets hit and bounced around a lot, it's going to be a rough day for him.
No Jimmy Graham, obviously, because he's on Green Bay. No Doug Baldwin, as you mentioned. Since 2015, Russell Wilson averaging 16.6% fewer points per game when he's on the road than he is at home. Last 3 seasons, he's been a slow starter as well. His average quarterback finish in his first 5 games, QB 14 on the road.
Week 1.
I know. That's true. That's true. I think the Denver defense isn't what it was. I do think the Bears defense is legitimate last year. Even last year, without Khalil Mack, without the upgrades they made this offseason last year, on a team that was very challenged offensively, the Bears defense still allowed the third fewest touchdown passes when they were at home. Again, this game is in Chicago. And they allowed the 8th fewest fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. honestly, I think he's a QB2 this week on the road against what's going to be a really fired up Chicago Bears defense. The crowd behind him on Monday night.
That's a big part of it for me on the road. If this was in Seattle, I'd feel a lot better about it.